true. A block is a piece of code to be executed. That is completely correct. That is, I give you an example. You seem to be a smart guy. So I have a method, and that is like, make something special. And we say this has a parameter and we call name. And whatever, I make it very easy. We say hello and then name, okay? And we want to make this a very flexible method for the future. Very, very flexible, okay? So in the future, we call this method with Tim, no, with Puevo. But we also want that there is some other code executed in this method. Okay, so this is now I'm giving him a block. A block is between two ends or between these brackets. If we make code that is only like inline, like whatever, we make it inline blocks. Otherwise, we make it multi-line blocks. So, and in this block, I can do whatever I want. And then I say something like block finished. Just an example. So if I call this method, I call you like this, make something special, hello. So then he just prints hello, hello. But I extend my method. I say if block given. So if we give this method a block, then we execute the block. Yield. That's literally it. Okay. I don't know if this sounds a little bit complicated for you, but I make you a very, very real world example, very quick. We say def content tag, and I say my content tag is, we want like this, like a strong with content, right? For example, so we say element and content, okay? So here then we say, and then this will be element, and then this will be content, oops, content, and then we close the element. That makes sense to you, right? Is there a syntax error? No, that is correct. So let's call this. Let's call this in the console quick. Now I say content tag of a strong with the content I am strong. It generates me HTML as expected. Now be smart. I say, yeah, but I need an I with I am strong /I. Well, it's working, but that is super shitty. What we want to do is, I want to call content tag strong, and originally you want to do something like class and ID, some arguments, but we don't do this now. And instead of content, I give him a block. Okay? And here I say content tag I with a block. And here I say content tag em do. And here I say hello. And we expect now that this returns me a strong, an I, and an em. That's what we expect, right? And then hello /em /I /strong. So this is what we expect. Now, how do we make this work? If I call this, not working. Wrong number of arguments. Content can be nil. And yeah, we give him a block. And we do now string is element. Whoa, Flipstar, you going strong, bro. There you go. I missed you already. Whoa. My first subscriber, he really loves me. How are you doing, Flipstar? Tell us about yourself. Did you had a nice day? A 3-month streak. You are crazy. So this is then the idea, right? So if block given, I say string is then yield, execute the block, and else string goes to content. Okay, and then we return string. Flipstar is the best. So, does this make sense to you now? So we say opening tag, if there's a block given, this is actually, it's like string plus string, right? So if there's a block given, yield this block, and whatever the block returns, that very important, the last code, the last line of code in a method is always the return value. Everything has a return value, every function, it's the last thing. And if there's nothing, then it's nil. So whatever it is, the return, push it into here, that means in between, and then close it. Now let's run this. So now this is my content tag, and then this is it. Block given is a question mark, of course. And then we run this, and that is not working. I messed up. Now it's good. Okay, let's run this. And there we go. Now we get it. Yeah, it's like a little bit like nested. No, we are here and then we are going nested deep, right? So he's opening it. Yeah, yield. And then this opening, and whatever he returns, yeah, it's layered, it's nested, exactly. And then of course, you could do something. You can now say like nasty is block given, yield, or content. So that also would work. Head the operation here. Oh, let's run this. What? Oh. I think that is what we have to do. And then, wait, is that even working? Oh, probably. Where is that from? Block given. So that is working. Alternative, if you say that in this case nil is false, then you can say nil or content or, and now it's getting complicated, yield. So this is, wait, is that working with the yield? Let me try this. Or is it yield to S? I think it's working with the yield. No, it's yield to S most likely. La 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 la. Okay. Well, but nil is, wait, content is nil. Oh, sorry. Now it will work. Of course. And I'm gonna explain you then. So now it's working. Let me explain this. Basically, you have to, this is in brackets, it's like an expression, and it returns, as I said, as usual, it returns the last thing Okay, it returns the last thing as usual. So this returns something. If content is available, let's do it this way. Content tag, whatever, and I am content. Huh? So here we give him content. So now the question is content. Because this is an expression, is content true? Yes, because it's not nil and it's not false. If it's nil or false, then this will be ignored or and then yielded. But in this case, content is true because it's a string. It's true in this expression. And then he say, okay, then if I have content, throw him back here. So if content is nil, like here, 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 then he's going for yield. But what are we doing? What are we doing if we do this? Oh, no block given. Because here we expect, because content is nil, so we expect to yield, but he say no block given. So this will be no good code. So it's more likely block given than yield to make sure that there is a block. Otherwise, string is content. And then this is a little bit more safe then. If you go here and then we execute this. And now nil into string because this returns nil, so we have to say this. Okay. Alternative, we can say string is then this or this to s. So, I mean, it is possible that yield returns nil and then we get the same problem. So either we call here to s and here to s, or we write it just in the string is, because if this one will return something. It will return something and then return value goes into the string. So let's run this. So you see there's like for the same problem, we have so many different things to do. And then you see then it's empty because there is nothing in. So yes, I mean, we did the same with like 3 different approaches and those are, you know, these are not even good. So, and then if you go, this is why Ruby is so great. And if you go content tag Rails docs, let's see how Rails is doing the content tag, because I just did a quick one for you. You can give options, as many options as you want. And this looks really funny. Where's my code? Show source. So this will be a content tag in Rails actually. They say the name of the element, of course, and then content or options with block. That's how they call it. And then you give options and then you give something like escape and then the block actually. And they say if you give a block, then they have a look, what did you give on options? So you can call here content tag strong ID is button confirm and class is button primary. And then you can also say style blah and enabled true. Okay, so this is, even though it doesn't look like that, it's a hash. Okay, this is just one hash, so it goes into here, content or options with block, and he say options is this if it's a hash. That means I also can say just something like this. Okay, and then it's actually not in options anymore, so options stay nil. So then he just calls it with a block. And if there's no block, he calls the content tag with name and then this string. And then maybe I give him here options. So here I give him then options. That's really smart. So it's basically either this options hash, it's either this or it's this with a block. So that's a really smart way to do programming. And if you're more interested now, then we can go deeper. Rails, tag helper, content tag string. This is content tag string. Let's have a look. There you go. Content tag, that's the name, slash name. The tag options, so this is just a helper that makes the hash to HTML options. And then, yeah, the content though. That's it. That's really smart though. And I actually learned most from, I actually improved my Ruby a lot by reading Rails code. Because in Ruby on Rails framework, the smartest Ruby developer in the world are working there, man. This is how I really up my game of Ruby. And there is, understanding blocks is difficult because there are procs and blocks and lambdas. I don't even know how to explain the difference.